This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. That is Cameron Wolfe. How you feeling, my man?
I'm good, O. How you feeling?
Good. Although we got to touch a couple of really touchy subjects. I don't know how you're going to handle these.
Okay. How touchy?
Very touchy. Because being in this business for 33 years, I've seen it all.
Okay.
I remember I told a story where you weren't here. I've told it a couple times on the show over the years. So I know Pat Surtain is not playing in the game. He's out.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell my program director, so basically I'm the only media person in the country that knows that Pat Surtain is not playing in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to him, hey, I'm going to report that Pat Surtain's not playing. He tells me, no, you can't. I go, why? And he goes, well, Dave Wannstedt just told Hank Goldberg and the coach, because they would record the coach's show on Thursday and play it on Friday.
Right.
So Friday I get the information that Pat is out. So I figured, okay. And I always, you know how it is. When you're going to break a story, you got to tell your boss first, and then you can break the story, right?
Yep.
Because that's how it goes.
Right.
You have to clear it through your boss first. So
Right.
he tells me I can't report that. So now I'm lying. I'm not lying because I never said anything. I never reported it. I never touched it. So boom, because, Dave Wannstedt tells Hank, well, he's been practicing on the side and all that. What we're going to do, Hank, is pregame, we're going to put him through a workout. If he's solid, then we'll play him. If not, but he wasn't playing. I knew he wasn't playing. Like, It was guaranteed that he wasn't playing.
Right.
So we're lying there. So now everybody's freaking out about Carissa Thompson. And in a way, I kind of understand Carissa Thompson because, okay, you work for NFL Network. You're the sideline guy. You're supposed to talk to the coach. The coach knows. The PR person told the coach. Everything's clear. Boom. The guy's in a bad mood. He blows you off. They throw it to you and say, hey, what did the coach say? Well, he didn't say anything. He was really mad at me, mad at the situation. He walked away. Now you threw the coach under the bus. You threw the team under the bus. You threw the league under the bus. Your boss is pissed because you put all that out there. Instead, she says, well, hey, coach told me they got to play harder. They got to stay away from the turnovers. Back to you guys. So I kind of understand if she bullshitted a little bit to cover up for a coach. Meanwhile, we got Joe Burrow with a wrap on his wrist. Nobody says anything. Busted on film. People are betting all over the place on the Bengals, including yours truly, by the way. It's the only bet I lost last night. I took the Panthers plus a goal and a half. I took the Heat minus 3.5. Yep. I took a parlay of Jaquez over 8.5, Bam over 3.5 assists, and the Heat minus 3. I won everything except that one, okay? Like a lot of other people lost money. So which is a lot. Everybody's freaking about Carissa. I think that's the least of our concerns. I think people should be freaking out more about hiding a Joe Burrow injury. Those are the kind of lies we should be worried about, not so much about Carissa Thompson.
I would say there are issues, right? I think that the Clarissa issues seem to be more of a people in media, first of all, but also people like a trust factor within someone who's supposed to work as a conduit to the fans, right? Like as a sideline reporter, your main job is to get information for the fans, tell the fans something they don't know. You're bringing them behind the scenes. Like my job as a reporter, I've done sidelines a few times, not that many, but I've done sidelines probably 3 games. And the goal is people watching at home want to know information. You bring
information. That's it.
Information, access, take me behind the scenes, tell me stuff. The best sideline reports are either injury reports or you're telling me something that we don't see on camera. Somebody yelled at somebody after they came off the field when they overthrew him on a pass or he dropped a pass. The weather's picking up. I'm standing on the sideline and there's 4 inches of rain in my shoes. Things that will affect the game those are information you're having. And so I trust you at your word when you're saying that. I think when you start to think about what Carissa said, it's about the trust of those particular comments. As far as Joe Burrow and the Bengals, we know that teams have always been elusive and trying not to tell you the information in regards to injury. Yes, gambling and fantasy football has made them harder to skirt the rules, but how often do you hear a coach essentially lie to you or give you take you down a line that's not true about an injury?
All the time.
Just for
all the time.
Competitive advantage.
Dave once that goes to me, nah, everything's all right. Yeah, no, yeah. Everything good with the Daryl Gardner? Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
we find
exactly.
out 2 hours later,
like your story is
he's
perfect
in the hospital with an epidural.
Right. It doesn't mean that it's right, but this is something that is long standing, and we've kind of accepted it as, hey, we cannot take the coach's word as the word. That's why injury reports became a thing, because coaches could just say, hey, he's day to day. I'm not sure he's not going to play, or he is going to play.
We got reporters that bullshit for agents,
right?
But we got all the time. We got insiders that are constantly lying to people, saying that reporter is getting. But a lot of times players getting interest because the agent's telling, hey, do me a favor and say that and why? Because the agent will then feed that insider something. My point is
that is true, but I would say the
difference between constantly lying to the public. Let's not make it like Carissa Thompson is the center of the universe on this. Let's be honest now, none of us use Carissa Thompson for any kind of insight on football. She's simply a host that drives a show. Hosts that drive shows, we do not care what they say. They're there to bring us in and out of the breaks. That's it, dude. So let's not make it sound like Carissa Thompson is Ramona Shelbourne. You know what I'm saying? That is Andrea Kramer. You know, that are legitimate reporters.
But I would say this though. In her current role with Amazon, she's a host. Yeah. What she's speaking about is sideline reporter. Who are the women that you're talking about? Your Andrea Kramers, your Ramona Shelburnes, your Lisa Salters. Lisa Salters tweeted about it yesterday. She hadn't tweeted since March. She was clearly upset. She hadn't tweeted since March.
If anybody has ever met Lisa Salters, you know that's a pro. Okay, like that's the pinnacle of being a pro is Lisa Salters. You know what I mean? Because all you have to do is watch her. Because I've seen her, I know her, I've talked to her. She's amazing, dude. She's fantastic.
And so that's where I think probably the anger came from. And to be honest, I thought
she's a real.
And that's the key. That's
we don't look
there.
at her like that's where I want to separate the
you hit it on the nose. You hit it on the nose because I think a lot of the reaction I saw on social media was actually from women. And it was that general thought that, hey, women have a hard time generally being treated serious as a reporter. A lot of times women feel like they are being put on that stage because they look pretty or because they're just, putting traffic from one guy to the next, right? Rather than, hey, I actually have value in this particular platform.
And by the way, I want to call that bullshit in a sense. Because I want you to know that most of us men in the business, we respect the hell out of the women that actually really do it, like some of the names I just mentioned. That's why I'm being honest. This whole Carissa Thompson thing, give me a break, dude.
Right.
She's not an insider. I don't look at her for anything, dude.
You're right. I think the issue is less about her and more about like making sure people value, because the initial reaction, and I got it throughout social media, was that, oh, well, why do we even do this role? It's a worthless role. We don't really use it for anything anyway. And then you get all the sideline reporters like Lisa and all those folks saying, man, now this is denigrating our role because of this. It's less about what we care about her and her particular situation. It's more like this puts a negative view on the role. Like even yesterday,
Hartung
did a great job. She's a great reporter. And
now Hartung's been in news. She's been in entertainment, and she's been in sports. Okay, because she's bounced back and forth. She's a pro, dude. She's been all over the place.
Yes, and so she did a really good job. She's done it really for the last couple of weeks. Last week she had the Treylon Burks situation, and Treylon Burks wasn't moving. She gave us perfect updates. This week for Joe Burrow as well, providing us with updates. And I get it. There's access that the broadcaster, the network gets from the team to deliver information. So that is a part of it. But she did an excellent job of being precise and articulate with it. And I tweeted out some of her reports, and I got 5 responses. All of them were like, how do we know she's not making it up? How do we know she's not fabricating it?
Right.
Right. And so, like, obviously it's a fair joke given that it just happened today, but you start to clearly have in the public a mind that, well, we probably shouldn't believe him. Didn't you hear Carissa? She said that, hey, they make stuff up. So they all make stuff up.
Yeah.
Why should we believe them? And so that to me is the dangerous part of that.
Yeah. The only thing is, I think you and I have been in this long enough to decipher.
Yes. And that's why I say it doesn't affect you and I, but we have more understanding of the business and the industry. I'd say 95% of viewers do not.
Right.
They're only going to see what we
lump
give them
in the same,
or what's taken. And so, yeah, for us, we're probably like, it is. She's just one person, and it doesn't tarnish the role. But I'd say the general public who is consuming the role, this does negatively affect the role, which I think is why we saw all of the outrage.
Yeah. And I think a lot of women that are in the business, they understand that those of us that are in the business, we know exactly who's who and all that kind of stuff. And it's just an interesting story when we have the whole Bengals thing with Joe Burrow, and that's the one that there should be.
Yeah.
I mean, an absolute
and it sounds like
outrage.
the league's investigating now. Like the league said they were investigating. And to be fair, the league's, I don't know what they're going to do, but the league investigated the Falcons with Bijan Robinson when he ended up coming to the game and was sick on Saturday or Sunday, didn't play. All the fantasy football folks were in outrage. How could Bijan Robinson only get, one touch? And he played, but he didn't play as much as people thought. And they did an investigation about it. And so clearly the gambling and the fantasy football element has put more pressure on the league to be hard on teams in an area that we kind of just for a while just said, you know what, we're gonna get BS by coaches, and we got to do our best to wade through it and get the real stuff.
Okay,
for example, I'll leave this as a brief thing here. Mm-hmm. Mike McDaniel is actually really good with injuries, probably better than most coaches. And being honest, he is still being purposely vague on Devon Achane, although I know that he will be playing on Sunday, right? There's a lot of, and maybe some of that is caution just in case you don't want to put a guy to where he's setback, but he is not.
He made the trip to Germany.
Yes.
He gave it away already.
Right.
Dude.
Same with Teron Armstead. He told Teron Armstead made the trip to Germany last week. I knew on Monday he was playing, but McDaniel left it vague. It's just something that coaches do. Have to protect their players, have for competitive reasons so that they don't give a head start to their opponents.
Okay, so if it's good for Tua, okay, well then we got to do it now for this guy, right? Okay, well, yeah, the Bengals are going to be good if Joe Burrow can stay healthy. The Bengals can make the play. Yeah, if Joe Burrow can stay healthy. Hey, the Bengals can make it to the Super Bowl if Joe Burrow can stay healthy.
Right.
But he misses more games than Tua. I mean, why isn't that just building? And I get it. When you have a great quarterback or a really good one or whatever you consider, you got to deal with the injuries because they're hard to find. That's why I would laugh at people who would say, oh, we got to find another quarterback. Oh, yeah, really? You're going to find another one better than Tua? Get the hell out of here, you idiot. I mean, come on. But what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? Everybody says. So is it official now? Joe Burrow is injury prone, correct?
It's a good question. If you look at his history, he's had what
NFL history.
Yes.
NFL history.
His NFL history is, what was it, first season?
Broken
leg.
He tore
his ACL. He played like 6 or 7 games, and he was out for the season. I don't know if he had any otherwise, but I do know he had at the beginning of each of the last 2 seasons, he had an appendectomy last year, I believe, that caused him to miss all training camp, but he was back for week 1. This year, he had a calf injury or something of that sort, and he didn't miss any time. He came back for week 1, but he was clearly limited, right? To me, those are the 3 I know, and then this one, right? And so from game action-wise, I don't think that he's missed a ton of time outside of that rookie year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he has shown a propensity to get hurt.
Just saying.
So
Just saying.
it's kind of how you qualify missed games versus having to play less than 100% through injuries, because he's definitely had to miss significant training camp time to do that.
Yes. I'm just saying, I mean, if you're going to, label to a injury prone, and it's funny because, and you were on with me during the whole thing, and in the middle of all those injuries, I said Tua can play for 15 years. What he has to do is what? Get rid of the football. I pointed out all of his injuries were between 3.85 seconds and 5.1 seconds.
Right.
And now what's he doing? He's getting rid of the damn football, bro.
Yep.
And, to me, by the way, it's game started 10 the first year and 10 this year.
Right. Well, 10, he started every game this year.
Yeah, but he's missed some of it.
Right. So, well, he hasn't. This is the first one he's missed time this year because of injury, but we're guessing that he's probably going to miss some time going forward. So he technically hasn't missed any quote unquote game time, I think, since his rookie year, but this is the fourth injury he's had since he's been a pro, the fourth injury that's significantly slowed him down.
And I want to say that even in the 2 years in between, I want to say he didn't finish a couple of games. I don't know why. He might have started it.
That's
because here it's got him starting all 10 games, but really,
in the second and third year, did he start all 16 or 17? However many it was?
It says 16. It does.
Gotcha. But yeah, maybe he got banged up.
I wonder if he finished all 16, because that's what it doesn't tell you. You know what I mean? But the injuries are starting to pop up all the time with him. So
yeah,
it's just kind of interesting that people bring it up. This Raiders team, it's hard for me to look at them and be like, they have players, like they have offensive weapons. But when I look at Aiden O'Connell against that secondary, I'm just this is a game that Miami should handle, correct?
Oh, absolutely. They should win this game. There's no question. This will be a disappointment if they lost this game. Now, I will tell you, there's something about momentum, right? The Raiders are riding this wave. Whether it ends this week or not, they're riding a wave of they fired their coach. They're getting galvanized by a guy that they feel like is one of them, and Antonio Pierce, and they've been playing better because of it. And so those teams are dangerous because they have sort of irrational belief. They have belief that now we are different than the team that got our coach fired in the first half of the year. Reality is at some point it'll probably come crashing down. Whether this week is the time, I think depends on how the Dolphins treat.
Well, they faced no offenses the last 2 weeks. That's the thing. Now they're going to face one of the three best offenses in the NFL.
That's fair. That's fair.
And then the quarterback's going to be facing a secondary that is.
Yeah. Okay. You got Jalen Ramsey, you got Xavier Howard, Javon Holland on that end. It's going to be something that Aiden O'Connell's never seen before. Ever. I don't know where to go to college, Purdue, something like that. They weren't having DBs out there in the Big Ten. I think that you're looking at a situation where I want to see the Dolphins come out fast. The only thing that worries me here is if they treat this game like the Panthers game, where I don't think they look down on the Raiders because the Raiders have won a couple in a row. They're 5-5. They have more respect than the Panthers did. But if you remember that Panthers game, Mike McDaniel tried hard to get his guys up for that game. Hey, it's just like another opponent. And then they jumped out down 14-0. You jump down 14-0 on this Raiders team. They can make it ugly. They can run Josh Jacobs, which slows down the game. And then you get into a really nasty, grimy game where you got to not make mistakes to win. That's the one thing. If the Dolphins come out hot, they score the first touchdown, they get a 3-and-out, I'm not worried. They have the firepower. They have the talent that they should be able to comfortably beat this team. And the reality is the Dolphins coming off the bye, they should be refreshed. They're coming off a loss. They want to come back out and have a big showcase to show, all the folks who are questioning, are the Dolphins for real, what they truly can be. Because it has been a little bit since we've seen the explosiveness, the top-end explosiveness of that offense. And now that they're healthy enough, probably minus Robert Hunt, that you're going to see ideally what this team can do in the run game and in the pass game. So this feels like, to me, a good opportunity for them to throw up 35-plus points on the board and have a nice, comfortable win.
All right, follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolfe, baby. And, of course, catch his work there at the NFL Network. Cam, as always, have a good weekend. Enjoy the game.
All right. Sounds good. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. There you go, Cameron Wolfe. And don't forget, call our friends at KSDT CPAs, 305-670-3370. Tax, advisory, assurance, accounting. They do it all. And again, if you are looking for work, they're hiring in Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties, and we have a new office in North Carolina. Use that QR code there to do your taxes. Maybe you're a little late and you want to catch up. Call the folks at KSDT CPAs, man. They will walk you through it and walk your business through it. Year-end tax planning, payroll, sales, and tax reporting. They got it all state, local tax consulting. They can help you out. Doesn't matter what kind of forms, from 5,500 to 990, estate and trust. They handle it all. Reach out to our friends at KSDT CPAs, 305-670-3370.